All right, here's your warning. If you're cruising around with kids in the car, get out of here. You don't want them listening to this nonsense for the next couple of minutes here, because here they are in their marriage, and they're like, you know what? Let's try something new. We're going to bring a dude in, maybe a woman in. We're going to bring all the things in, more parts. And now it's just confused everybody in the relationship. And she wants your advice on how to help her out.
All right, follow along. Bert Show. I have a situation involving playing piano with a trio in our marriage.
I think we can say sex now, right?
Yeah,
It's late enough in the show.
and you gave the warning. My husband and I have had several trios in the past and would love to have more. They always involve another woman.
Seems fair.
Totes fair. Well, if they agree upon it, then that's fine.
Yep.
Maybe that's our thing. I tend to think it's vastly different when we include a female in our intimate time if one of us were to engage in piano playing with a third party solo. We should be doing it together. Basically, I think it's unacceptable if one of us were to get intimate with a person outside our marriage of the opposite sex. Opposite sex is key here.
All right, so what she's saying is, so long as we're linking up together,
Yes.
we're down, but you can't go separately and be with somebody from the opposite sex.
Correct.
Okay.
Of the opposite sex.
Got it.
He tends to think that if we have these trios, that he could and should be able to be intimate with a female that isn't me, his wife. There was one time where I called to ask my husband while I was on a work trip if I could get intimate with another female, and he gave the go-ahead. So now I think he's expecting to be able to get intimate with another woman himself. In my head, since I like to be intimate with the same sex, but not emotionally or relationship-wise at all, that is vastly different from the threat of being intimate with the opposite sex outside our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never cheat or go behind his back. I tend to like the acts, but I'm not a dollar bean and would never consider relationships with any trios or that one woman. I also shared that a fear would be getting a female outside our marriage pregnant. Now that he's fixed, he thinks he should be able to sleep around.
He's got it all worked out. He got it all worked out. He knows what he's comfortable with. Kudos to this man.
Am I being hypocritical? I do not think he will be as understanding. If I were asked to get intimate solo with another man, is he being hypocritical? I'm totally fine with ditching trios altogether and never getting intimate with another woman again if it's going to be a problem. It's starting to seem like he wants more. So I'm unsure if he's just trying to paint me as the hypocritical one. How do I navigate this, and which one of us is being hypocritical?
There's more.
You want me to go ahead and read the last ones?
Although I think I paid attention the entire time. You can if you'd like.
All right. Bert, if you didn't get the above email, think of it this way.
So she must be a P1 and knows that I check out quick.
Because you always say, if the email's too long, you didn't read it. And sure enough, she put TLDR, too long, didn't read. That is classic Bert Weiss right there. If you're Bert, you and Tiff like to have trios with women. But now Bert wants to be intimate with another woman. Tiffany says she prefers only to invite someone in for the both of you. Now, Tiffany did get intimate one time with another woman with your blessing.
Yep.
Tiffany doesn't think that you should be able to play piano with the opposite sex outside those threesomes. Tiffany thinks you may not be as understanding if she wants to play with a man outside your marriage. Who's being hypocritical?
A lot.
You want to take this one first?
Sure. I think he, in a way, I think they're both being a bit hypocritical, but I think he lost his leverage. I think he played his cards wrong, because if he was going to use the fact that, hey, you got to do it and so I should get to do it, then that should have been established before you gave her permission to do it. But once you gave her permission and didn't ask for anything back, and she did that, cool. And then now you trying to get it off as well, and she's saying no because it's different. I understand her point. So if he can't really use that against her because you didn't lead with that, and so now I feel like if she doesn't want him to do it because of the opposite sex thing, I understand it.
I've never been in this situation, but I would think that you have got to set the ground rules. And if anybody is uncomfortable at all with any one of the scenarios you can present, then all bets are off.
I think you got to take like the sex out of it, as far as like not like the actual physical activity of the sex, but the person's sex. And you got a one-off. So let him have his one-off and whatever the sex may be. And then after that, call it even. And then the two of you either just stick to 3-0s or ditch the whole thing altogether.
I don't agree with that. Just because she had hers with a woman shouldn't allow him to have, like, it shouldn't be transactional if she's not comfortable with it.
He should have his with a man.
That's not what he's into.
He's not into me.
Well,
Yep.
then get over it because that's your option.
I mean-
your wife is only allowed to and has only with another woman, same gender. So that's the rules. Like, I don't understand. I looked up the word hypocrite because I feel like people toss that around a lot and they have no idea what it means. Oh, this is my favorite when the dictionary does this. Hypocrite, a person who indulges in hypocrisy. Like, God, now I got to look up that word. But no, she's not being a hypocrite. He's using that word incorrectly. She's done nothing wrong. She called and asked, and it was another woman, and he had no issue with that.
Yep.
And now he's asking, can I go do this with another woman? And she's saying, I have an issue with that.
Then game's
End of
over.
story.
That's it. That should be it.
Be respectful to your spouse.
And you're right. She's not being a hypocrite. That is
No.
not the definition of what a hypocrite is.
Right.
It would have been saying one thing before and
Yeah.
then doing something different, but that one thing was never said.
If she did the deed with a man, and then on the back end, he's like, okay, I'm going to go do this with this woman. She'd be like, no, you can't do that. That's wrong against our marriage. That's wrong. That's a hypocrite, stupid. Stop tossing out vocab words you don't understand and making me Google them.
The Bert Show.